Apostle Dr. Baker J. Baker, and I am so excited today. I get the honor and the privilege of having teacher Tina Wigler with me today. She's a part of Apostle Eddie's congregation. She's also administrative duties with the council, the senior council, and she's just a joy to everyone. She is just amazing. So I wanted to tell you about herself, and I'm going to give her enough room to be able to do it. This woman is brilliant, okay? This woman is alive. So without any further me talking, I'd like to introduce and to welcome my guest, teacher Tina Wigler. Thank you for being on our program.
Oh, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. It's an honor to be here. And you wanted me to discuss about being and serving on the senior council.
I want you to talk about who you are. I want you to
I am.
know who you are. I just want you to be you. I just want you to go wherever you want to go. I know we titled it, but titles can change. It all depends on what comes out of you.
I was born and raised in California. I was raised in a single parent household. My mom immigrated from Mexico, and there's 10 of us. Whoa. There was 10 children, and I'm number 5. And it just dawned on me, 5 is the number of grace, you know. So I was out of the 10 children, I was the first one to continue my education on to college. You know, I got scholarships. I studied, and I knew we lived in poverty. But I knew that the only way to get out and to get out of this poverty mindset was to educate myself. And at first, my first language was Spanish, but I didn't want to deal anything. I didn't want to be reminded of, okay, I have to learn English, and I had an accent. But the Lord always brings me to Spanish speaking. For whatever reason, they find me. Do you speak Spanish? Can you help me? Can you? Oh, sure. Yes. Okay. And I had to learn. I had to learn how to speak Spanish all over again. But I have a knack for languages. I like to pick up languages. And even if I can just say a little bit, because I like to travel. And if I can, the fact that you make an effort to speak their language, to learn a little about somebody else's culture, it endears you to them. So they are so helpful to, so I know a little bit also of German, and even though I'm embarrassed sometimes to speak the German, but they tell me, oh no, you're doing good. Yeah. And so they're so helpful that I make an effort to get to know and a little bit of their culture, to learn a little of the languages. And I remember when I was in Germany, in the way the country is divided, you have north, south, you have the middle. They have their own dialect. While the people who live in Swabish, they speak German, but they also speak Swabish, which is the other people in Germany cannot understand them. And so I was with my nephew and nieces, and we're going to a carnival, and I answered something, and everybody around me go, Tina's speaking Swabish. And so Tina, did you learn Swabish? And I said, I don't know what I'm saying. I'm just repeating the words you're saying. So, but they were so shocked that how can she speak our dialect, So, and I can't carry a conversation, but I might say a few words. And they were so appreciative, that someone can learn that dialect and learn a few words. So languages intrigue me. But I learned from my mom. And here's some key words. Going through poverty, raising 10 kids on your own, not speaking the language. She never learned to drive. Everything was by bus. She could get on the bus and go to Grand Central, go here. She knew the bus lines. So I always thought, when I get up, I'm not going to be dependent. I'm going to go wherever I want to go, and I'm going to explore. I'm not going to be trapped within my city. So I love to travel. And one thing that my mom is watching and observing my mom, that there's wisdom in simplicity. Okay. And
Yes.
there's also authority in silence. So when you're silent, it's not because you have nothing. Sometimes you're taking your authority and not saying things until the right time when the Lord releases you to say something. And sometimes these simple little things, principles to live by, is that she taught me that you could be the poorest, but you could be the richest.
You
And
know,
riches is
you're
not
not the
financial.
poorest, but God has blessed you. He has blessed you so that you don't have to live in that financial poverty. You don't have
No,
to live in any of those
it's
things.
he's made me so that I'm not, I mean, I didn't even realize that because I kept on thinking, I have to work, I have to save, I have to do. And when I wanted to retire, I go, no, I can't retire. And yet I got confirmation from 3 people that, oh, are you ready to retire? The Lord showed me and one was a prophetess who happens to be blind. And she goes, I can't tell how old you are because I can't see you. But are you thinking of retiring? And she goes, because the Lord told me he's provided well for you. So
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have to continue to work. It's like, it's time to take it. And it comes to the point where you realize, yes, he has blessed me. And I look for those blessings. And when I go into a grocery store, or if there's long lines, it's not because, oh, there's too many people here. Oh, it's too crowded. It's because wherever I go, I bring the blessing. And
Yes.
that's what I recognize. Okay. I may have found a perfect spot. I got in, I'm in line. But I bring the blessing wherever I go. So that means that it gets crowded after I enter,
That's
because
great.
I'm blessing the establishment. It's not
That's it.
because, oh, I'm impatient and I got to get out of here. I have to recognize that wherever I go, I'm blessing that establishment.
I know one thing you bless, you sure bless the senior council.
Thank you.
Really do. That's how I met you. I met you as part of the senior council, and you were administrating and stuff. And this is one of the questions that I want to ask you. How
Mhm.
you see our weaknesses, you see our strengths, you've seen and heard things about us that most people don't have are privy to.
Mhm.
I've never seen where you have disdained or you have uh, tell me about that. Tell me
Because
proximity.
I've I've held positions of management. I worked in California, we have Kaiser medical insurance. And I had management positions. Was a assistant manager I had 80 people working under me, respiratory and cardiology. So I had physicians as under me in my department. I had nurses under me. I had technicians. I had respiratory therapists. I have a vast different, and I had to know how to treat each different person because, of course, I'm not a physician. But when I deal with the physician and I'm letting them know what the circumstance, I have to address them, respecting the credentials, respecting why I can't give this, it's not in the budget, go back and work the proposal, and they may be upset because I need this now, but we have to bring things to their level. And yet I can talk to someone who has a 1-year education on the job training and explain to him how to do. So you have to meet each person, giving them respect and integrity, that, um, that so that they don't walk away not being listened to, and when I'll tell you one thing, in the Kaiser system, it's hard to get rid of a manager. You cannot fire, I mean, and I was in a department where they fired the manager, and so I was the interim until they could replace somebody. And they wanted to make me, I said, you can't make me a manager because I'm too close. I said, if you bring someone from the outside, I'll bring him up to par with what's going on, but I can do more behind the scenes and accomplish things than I can being put center front. So it was okay with me not to be a manager. I was the assistant, but if I was the manager, there was 30 grievances with the union. And we had a wait list for certain things took 2 years to be able to get an outpatient test. And once we got in and we got a right physician to come in, he was new. And it's like I'm telling them, this is how you're going to do it. First, you talk to this group and you present them, give them papers to read because they're going to resist you. I said, and then you hold a little meeting and you discuss, and then you come back and says, okay, I gave you the opportunity. Now this is how we're going to do it. I said, and you lay out your plans, but you don't come in and try to run things right. And so then he goes, how did I do? I said, oh, you did really well. So now, and but that's how I see myself, like a stealth bomber. I can come in under the radar and make changes. And that's exactly what we do with prayer, isn't it?
Oh,
We go in. Yes.
go ahead.
And so that's how I've managed to do it. I don't have to be in the forefront. I always come behind and try to get them up to par, and instruct people as to why we have to do it this way. So I've always had that teacher instinct to show how to get things done. Why do we have to do it this way? Because in patient care, I mean, you want to make sure you don't hurt the patient. It's a human being that's in your hands and in your care. And for 15 years, I worked taking care of newborn babies. I worked with, they can't tell you what's wrong with them. So you have to observe. You have to look for clues. Oh, the heart rate's going up. Oh, the oxygen's going down. What's going on? Because they can't tell you, I'm in pain. I can't breathe. But you have to be observant and look at the signs to know what's going on and how to take care of that baby.
Do you find that you use a lot of these same tactics? Because it sounds like God gave all of these to you. But I have noticed you, and you're like a skilled surgeon in working with people. The things that you do for people, and you do them under, nobody really knows. I mean, the food, the
Yes.
things to people, the serving that you do, the watching the apostles, because you're also assist Apostle Eddie.
Yes.
And he has a multiplicities of things going on. And it's, there's so much in you, but it seems as if that underlying thing is that you are a ministry of helps. I mean, you help people even when you don't realize it. You are a fivefold teacher, a fivefold ministry teacher, and very qualified and very good at that. But I see you. I mean, you are you shine. I mean, you really shine when you're helping people to achieve whatever it is that they're going after.
Yes, I do see that, and I guess it's also the teacher in me that wants to make sure people have the notes. People have the recording. That they're prepared, because they can't move forward if they don't have the tools, and I've been that way even in teaching in the hospital. When I always get the students, people don't like to get the students because they slow you down, but I always enjoy it. I've always enjoyed it, taking them under my wing. Okay, let me show you this. This is how we do it. This is why, and observing and seeing their growth. I don't know. It just makes me, now they can do it on their own. And I remember going at one of these conventions, and I was helping one of the vendors, and he was passing out, samples and stuff. And I had people come up to me and they said, do you remember me? I used to be your student. I used to do it. And then he'd go and let me go get, I don't remember. I've seen so many students at a time, for them to come back and say, you taught me this, you showed me this, I became this, I passed my test. And so it's like, it feels fulfilling. It's like a parent seeing their child, come to maturity, So I enjoy that. I really like that. And it's that thing of helps also comes from my mom, and I learned from her. If you don't have much, you share what you have, you know. And I remember she told a story. She was telling me she hired someone to come clear the weeds of the yard and shit. And then came lunchtime, she invited them in for lunch. She goes, "You guys have been working hard." And the gardener says, "No one invites us in. No one offers us a glass of water." She goes, "We go to mansions, we go to rich people, and you're the first one." She goes, "No, you're working hard. It's the sun. So come and have a meal, wash up, and then you can go back." So these little things I've learned from her, that you don't have to have a lot, but what you have, you share. And that's community. That's kingdom. That's a
Yes,
kingdom
it is.
principle.
Yes, it is.
So I grew up, even though it may not be what we're learning, I grew up seeing as an example, you know. And whenever people came from Mexico, we didn't have much room, but she'd always house them until they got on their feet. So there was always somebody coming in and out, and
You
and
do the same. You do,
uh,
you do the same. You're all.
I know, I do. As a matter of fact, I'm going to be hosting Apostle Sandra because she's coming to the conference. So I learned from her. Okay, yeah, I can. That's where I learned from my mom.
It sounds
And
like the two of you were close.
we were. And this thing about being blessed and knowing that you're blessed. When my mom had a stroke, um, I decided, okay, she's coming to the end. She already had a heart attack. She had a stroke, and I was caring for her. I went part time, and my manager told me, "Well, there's no guarantee. I can't make you full time." And I said, "That's okay. If I have to get another part time job afterwards, I will." And I said, "But I don't want to regret not spending time with my mom. So the days that I had free, I was able to visit with her. She was in a convalescent home, read to her, spend the day with her, show her that, and listen to her stories. And I wish I would have recorded some of her stories from before, but I didn't, because she was a whiz in growing things. She knew herbs, what would heal you. Oh, this is good for an upset stomach. This is good for this. Oh, make a tea out of this leaf. And those are things that I didn't think about remembering or writing down. But so I'm interested in the herbal medicinal properties, of plants and foods healing us. You know,
Mhm, mhm.
that's an interest that really intrigues me. And so I ended up taking care of her for 6 months. I did finally go part time, and I knew she wasn't going to hire me back as a full time person. And my mom had 6 months. I had 6 months with her, and I told the Lord, "Okay, you're going to provide. You use me to bless people, and I know you're not going to stop blessing people. I know you're going to use me. So I don't know how I'm going to pay my mortgage, but you're going to do it for me. And you're still going to let me." And I did. So this is where your faith, you really believe, and and you know that you're his child, and you know that he has your back, and you trust that he's going to provide, and he did. And I'll tell you, my income dropped $40,000 that year. And that's a lot to say. And you go, "Oh my God, 40. But I was able to refinance because of the lower income. I still continued. If I pick up an extra shift, I got overtime because it was over 32 hours. So, I managed. And when I did my taxes, my tax preparer goes, "What happened?" I said, "Oh, I went part-time." And he goes, "But your giving never dropped. Your giving increased. Look at this charity, that." I said, "Well, I didn't think about it. I just wrote the check and sent. And he goes, "I don't know how you did it, but you're getting a return back." So I was blessed with that. And then the medical director came to me in December. He came to me in the middle of December. Tina, I want to know if you want to go full time. And I said, my mom is still ill, but the fact that you're coming to look for me is letting me know that her time is near. That's the Lord giving me a sign.
Mhm.
And he goes, well, I'm going to make a request. I'm going to put in, and I want you to come back because I need you. And I said, well, so-and-so said she wouldn't give me a full time. He goes, this is me. He goes, and I go, okay. He goes, it might take a while because I have to justify, I have to put in the request and how I'm going to do this. But he provided a way. Later on, I learned that my medical director, who asked me to come back, is a minister in the Chinese church. I didn't know that beforehand. That's God putting me. And I go, okay, Lord, you made the way. If you provided, it's trust. So I knew, and I was prepared for when she did pass, And, but
You said you come from 10 children. So
yes.
what's your relationship? What's your relationship with your brothers and sisters?
Okay. We're all, none of us really talk to whatever. I have a sister that lives in Arizona, but I still communicate with her. But my mom died and she turned to Jehovah Witness.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Okay. And so my sisters became Jehovah Witness. I was the only one that didn't. And my brothers, they didn't care. They were, in gangs and everything. But out of my siblings, my older brother, he came to know the Lord, and I'm close to him. And as a matter of fact, he helped me when my mom, he goes, I'm with you, whatever you decide. I can't do much, but the days you go to work, I'll be there with her. So he's been my support. We support each other. And then my other siblings, because my mom passed, as they wanted everything Jehovah Witness, but I was the executor. And so there's tension there. Tension there because, but they're coming around. They're coming around to know me. Now it's funny because even though their children seek me out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Auntie, can you pray for me? Auntie, can you do, and so they still want a connection. It's regardless of what their parents say, it's like they're seeking me and like, why would she help you? I don't talk to her. Why would she do this for you? I don't, it's like, so there's that kind of, but it's slowly coming, slowly they're coming to recognize and to see because they're the children are the one, and the grandchildren, they're having babies, they're having little ones, and they're calling and seeking me. So
you're such a light. I can understand that because this is not just a TV face. This is every time I've seen you. I've seen you in person at some of the other what meetings that we have, and all that. And every time I talk to you, every time I see you, I mean, I'm honored. It's like one of these things that you're really, the name of this program is Still Telling It Like It Is. And I'm blunt.
Yeah.
you know that. But I see the light in you. And we have about maybe 5. Oh gosh, time goes fast when you're having fun. We have about 5 more minutes. I'd like for you to release whatever it is that you want to release to the audience. Maybe if you have a prophetic word, if you have something that you want to say, if you have some things that you want to speak about as far as business is concerned, or whatever it is, you help yourself to do it.
It's I've worked in the medical field. And I've seen how God uses me, because even then, in taking care of patients, I know the Holy Spirit has worked through me to take care of and to help diagnose patients. I've had patients come to me and, the test is normal. This is this. And I look at them and the Holy Spirit wouldn't let me let them go, until I get them help. And I have one lady, they checked her. She went to 2 different clinics and everything. The test came back normal. And then I had the doctor talk to her and I said, you have to see her. She's so fatigued. She's so tired. Her test came back normal, but it's on the low. It's like barely on the low normal. And he did an exam. It turns out she had a hole in her heart, congenital effect that they couldn't spot anywhere. And when she came back to me a month later, she had to have surgery. And not only that, her daughter had the same defect. And they were able to stop it before anything changed. So he ordered oxygen for her and everything. And she came back a month later to do tests. She put her hand on me. She goes, "You don't remember me. You're the one who got them to." And so she told me her story. And that just brings tears when you go, "Oh my God." At that point, I didn't know, but now I know how he's used us. And we just have to be obedient. When we hear him, is continue to follow up with that word. And I know that the marketplace right now, it's like being in the marketplace. My ministry is really not as a preacher in front of a church. Mine is with people behind, like I said, behind the scenes. And I'm out in the marketplace. I mean, in the grocery store. And I've had Bible study with just 4 people, and we're at Corner Bakery in front of everybody with our Bibles, drinking our coffee, and because I feel like we have to be with people. They have to see that people have their Bibles, that we're there. And it's funny because when we went there was a men's Bible study there. Here I am with 4 ladies, and there was a men's. They said, "Oh, we come here every Wednesday morning." And so I said, "Oh, that's so awesome to see," because they had the same thing. Is that it's being out. And then when COVID hit and the places were closed, we would go to the park and be in the park. And I said, "Okay, here we are now. Let's play some music on our iPhones." And we had worship flags, and we're in the park worshiping and then singing, and because people had to see there's no fear in us, that we embrace. And if they stop, or they could see us.
Joe Henry just let us know we got 30 seconds.
Okay. So that's it. But that's what I wanted to share.
Thank you so much. I thank you so much for being on this program, and you will come back again.
Okay.
Anyway, this is Dr. Baker, the Apostle Dr. Baker, still telling it like it is. Do not forget the Love and Unity Convergence or Conference, the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th of June. And if you want to give, all the information is on the screen. If you want to get in touch with Tina, then you can get in touch with her through Love and Unity. She's part of it. And I want to thank you again for being on the program. And I'll see you next time when I'm still telling it like it is. Bye-bye.
Blessings.